okay, let's go back a little bit in time. So you discovered that you had this progesterone deficiency 15 years ago. So until now, until today, are you still using the cream? Have you decreased the usage of the cream? When do you actually know that you need the cream?
The symptom that comes back the quickest for me, I become emotionally sensitive and I tearful. So I know I've not been putting on enough. And I think I also mentioned in the past that I'm sometimes a bit vague about putting it on. So I'll be in a hurry, I'll squeeze out some, rub it all over, and maybe I do this for a few days, and then I realize, because of my emotions, that I actually haven't been putting as much as I should. And then I will increase the amount, but then also if I find I need it, I will do that 2-week sort of stint where I put 2 teaspoons a day on. And I find it does take 2 weeks before the symptoms reduce. It so much depends on the person, because a friend of mine, she experimented because she heard I'd done this. And she found her hot flushes suddenly came back, but went quite quickly. But she didn't have the emotional instability or the irritability and tiredness that I get. But I think she's got less fat cells than I have. So she makes less estrogen than me. Because that was one thing I wanted to point out, which so many people aren't aware of. They think that when they get to menopause, their estrogen drops and that's it. It's not true. We make estrogen to the day we die in our fat cells. The estrogen is called estrone, and it's just as potent as estradiol, the estrogen we make pre-menopause in our ovaries. Estradiol should be low in menopause, but whenever a woman goes to have a test, they will only test estradiol, whether she's pre or post-menopausal. And this is wrong. And they will say your estrogen is low, you must take more, so they give estradiol. But they do not seem to know that menopausal women are still making it in their fat cells. So do men. Men make estrone as well. And as they get older, their estrogen level increases and testosterone and progesterone decreases in them. And this is another reason why they get these symptoms. So it's important to realize we still make estrogen until we die. But we do not make progesterone in the quantities we did in our premenopausal years. We make very little, and it's mostly to do with brain, nerves, that sort of function, rather than reproductive. So it is important to realize that.
And in regards to using the cream, so there can be a reactivation of the estrogen dominant symptoms, and so that can be a bit confusing. Is it just we are going through a phase of detox where our estrogen receptors are being activated and the symptoms come up, and we've got to wait for the progesterone cream we are taking to really take effect, or do we need to increase the cream? So it can be a bit confusing.
And it is, and people do find it confusing because they are starting progesterone for the first time or increasing it because they've heard it's better, and the symptoms become worse. They then blame the progesterone. They don't know anything about it stimulating estrogen, so they reduce the progesterone, and it's paradoxical, but they find, of course, that their symptoms become less. So therefore, this reinforces the belief it was the progesterone causing the problem. But then the symptoms come again. So they reduce further still, and they feel better, until they finally sort of barely using progesterone, but they've still got the adverse symptoms that they started with. It's not progesterone causing those symptoms, it's estrogen. Estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. It was very interesting. Just the other day, a woman wrote to me, in a bit of a panic. She said she'd missed putting on her progesterone for 4 to 5 days. I think she'd gone away or something and left it behind. And what would happen? And I said, probably that her symptoms would come back and she would definitely get estrogen dominance when she started the cream. And she said, she wrote back and she said it was very interesting because that's exactly what happened. Her hot flushes started getting worse. They got worse when she went back on the progesterone. She persevered, increased the progesterone, hot flushes went, and now she's back down to the level she was using. So, as I said, it can occur even within the hour. You have to sort of just play around with your own dose, with your own amount and your own symptoms. It's impossible for me or anybody to guide somebody through that. Impossible.
Okay.